Okay, so here we are on the next round. A note on using your guns, your medic guns. I think my loadout is down right now. There might be an update happening, but as far as medic guns go, the only two guns you ever want to use are the default medic gun and the Kritzkrieg. In general, you can remember it as the medic gun is much better on offense because a lot of times you're trying to push sentries or areas that are heavily entrenched, and you need to be invincible to give your demo man or your heavy a little bit of time to get out there and get to the sentry before they get killed. On defense, you can run either one, but Kritzkrieg is utilized more often on defense because you want to be able to surprise attack their medic and kill him before he can build his Uber charge. That's often referred to as dropping Uber. Now this place down here you're really asking to get sniped or blown up going down there. I probably shouldn't have been that close. Let's pyro at our spawn. Once again, make sure you're using your comms. If your team is really bad, sometimes things like that will happen, where they'll just be all up in your spawn and kill you. And sometimes that's unavoidable. Another thing is that when you're playing pubs, they have crits are usually turned on. So every once in a while, you're just going to get killed by a crit, and there's nothing you can do about it. So don't despair too much when that happens. It's just part of the game. When you're playing competitive, people don't play with crits, so a little bit more skill is required. We're having a little bit of trouble moving forward now because our team has too many spies that aren't really doing anything. And as you can see, I'm trying to stay, I'm lagging a little bit. Oh, there we go. As you can see, I'm trying to keep as many people healed or overhealed as I can, while keeping myself out of the line of sniper fire. Spies at our spawn. Once again, use your comms a lot to keep your teammates alive. Alright, so now I have Uber. I'm looking at what classes are alive because I want a demo man or a heavy. There really isn't anyone for me to Uber right now, which is, it's kind of the fault of the rest of my team for not paying attention to what the loadout is. Because on offense, you always want a demo man, a heavy. Every once in a while, you can use a soldier to Uber. Or a pyro, but I really want someone who can do a lot of damage to sentries very quickly. I mean, you could argue that I wasted that right there, but he was about to die. Our team was kind of stalemated, not really doing anything. And if you're going to die as medic, you want to die like I just did. Like, you want to die after you used your Uber, keeping your teammates alive as long as possible. And then when I got killed, I really had very little Uber charge, so it wasn't a big loss for me. I didn't lose that time I spent charging. Generally, when you Uber, you don't just follow it until you die. In some cases it's okay to die after you've Ubered someone, keeping them alive as long as possible. Like if you're trying to push the cart at a critical point. But in general, once your Uber has about 30 or 25% charge left in it, oh, perfect. Well, sometimes the backburner pyro will just kill you by surprise if you're not paying attention. In general, yeah, you want to have about 25-30% of Uber left once you've activated it when you want to run away, because if you can get out of there having Ubered someone and survive, that's a lot more useful to your team than waiting for you to respawn. They use crits. They have crit soldier coming in towards our top right window. When you see the enemy crits, I kind of expected it when I heard their medic call that he was using. Like, he'll say something like Auf Wiedersehen or things like that when he uses. So you have an idea of when they're going to use their Uber or Kritzkrieg. When you hear that get activated as medic, you need to do several things. First of all, you need to let your team know that they used. Because if it's Kritzkrieg, your team needs to get the hell out of there. Also, you need to check your uber charge. If you are not charged, then you need to run like hell. Even if you have Kritzkrieg, you probably want to get out of there because they have an advantage since they set up for Kritzkrieg, and you guys are just kind of defending against it. Pyro's coming towards spawn from tunnel. However, if you have overcharge fully charged and you have someone semi-competent with you, then it's okay to. It's okay, and a lot of times it's good to. Oh, I'm gonna get killed here. Yeah, that was just. This team's pretty bad. Stuff like that doesn't usually happen. As you can tell, we have 4 spies. But what I was saying is, if it's okay to use your overcharge to push into their Kritzkrieg. You can completely counter Kritzkrieg in a lot of cases just by going in invincible, and then their automatic crits every shot aren't doing anything to you. You just take out their medic quick, and you've totally neutralized it.
I deem Pyrovision the gayest thing I've ever seen in my entire life now.
So another important thing to do as medic is, especially when your team is really bad, you'll be losing and your team will just go on about their business because they don't know why they're losing, or they just start blaming on how bad their players are. And a lot of the times it's not necessarily even that your players are bad, it's that they don't have teamwork and they don't have cohesion. This guy Grog I know is really bad because I've been playing with him for a little bit, so I'm not gonna, no offense Grog, but I'm not gonna use my Uber on you. We have too many spies, guys. We need more combat classes. And a second medic would be good too. So, like I was saying, you want to tell your team what to do if they're being stupid. It's kind of like an unspoken rule that as medic, I know this guy is good, so I Ubered him just because I want to get out of the spawn. I'm getting blown back. I'm not on you anymore. When you Uber someone, let them know if you get blown off of them, so that they don't walk into a situation where they are just gonna get shit on. Like my poor buddy Diamond Man, or Spade, or whatever he is. Yeah, Spade. I kind of put him in a shitty situation there because I didn't call immediately when the pyro started blowing me back, so he probably thought he was going to be invincible and he just walked into that trap. So I could just run back to spawn here, but I don't want him to pick me off. If you're low on health as medic, always go get heals. It's because, like I said earlier, the most important thing you can do is not die. Because the more invulnerabilities you have, the better. Like I see that there's a bunch of shit coming to our spawn. Buffband are coming into spawn. I want to get out of the doorway here because I don't want to get spawn camped to death with 85% Uber. So right now I'm just trying to keep everybody overhealed and help them push out of the spawn camp situation. Now that I'm charged, I'm sizing up who's on my team. I have a demo man who has some points, so I'm probably going to Uber him. I really don't want to poke out of here, but I feel like I'm going to have to. Just want to see where the demo man is. When you're, as far as a note on spy checking, you should be turning around and looking behind you probably once every second or so, and especially as medic, because when you're healing someone, they can look forward for you. I don't have to look forward. You don't want to, when you're playing medic, you don't want to get killed by spies, and you really don't want your demo man or your heavy to get killed by spies. Here's another situation where, well, I kind of fucked up on that part because I didn't Uber him very quickly. At this point, we're pretty much just going to lose, just because things have gone so poorly. Well, that was a very lucky shot. I mean, there's 41 seconds left. We're not really going to do much at this point. I assume most of my teammates are just going to be throwing their bodies in the cart, so I just want to give them as much support as I can with heals.
Mission ends.
And I'll probably remind them in a second to push the cart if they're not pushing it. I think they have a sentry over there. I think they're their sentry, so we really need Uber to push that, and I don't think we're going to have enough time.
Fire! Fire! Fire!
Once again, if you have little health, go get heals. A rocket's going to do, I think, up to about 110 damage to you, so if you have less than 110 health, then you don't want to be running around putting yourself in situations where you can get shot. Push cart, guys.
Overtime.
Yeah, so that's a move I wouldn't normally have made. It was very aggressive on my part,
But
but
new spawn killers.
you know, when you're gonna run out of time, you have to make risky decisions like that. So if you look at my stats, I had 19 deaths and 20 invulnerabilities. That's kind of what you want when you're playing medic. You want to get off at least one Uber every time you're alive, preferably more than one.